everyone, I am out in my garden right now. I just got done harvesting some pumpkins for the very first time. This was our first year growing pumpkins in our own garden, and it was a really fun and exciting process. I know a lot of you are going to the orchard around this time of year. It's a really fun and special time of year to be spending with your friends and family and take those pumpkins home and carve them. So I wanted to take some time to do a video and show you all how to turn your pumpkins into pumpkin puree so that you can make your own homemade desserts with it. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the kitchen and wash these up, and we're going to get started on turning this into puree. Alright everyone, I just washed off all of the pumpkins to get the dirt off of them, and to get started on making the pumpkin puree, we're just going to go ahead and cut all of the pumpkins in half. You don't want to try to cut through the stem because it's really tough. You really just want to cut all the way around and then split it in half. And once you do that, you can go ahead and scoop out all the seeds using a spoon. It's easiest if you just put them directly into a bowl of water if you're planning on saving your seeds. Now, the best type of pumpkins to use to make pumpkin puree are sugar pumpkins and pie pumpkins. They are the smaller varieties of pumpkins. You really don't want to use the large carving pumpkins because they won't be nearly as flavorful or sweet as the small pumpkins are. If you are going to the orchard, then and you're not sure which ones to get to make pumpkin puree, you can just ask one of the workers and they'll definitely know which ones to get. So once you get all of your seeds and guts out, you just want to go ahead and put these face down on a baking tray. I have my baking tray lined with a Silpat baking mat just to help prevent it from sticking. If you don't have that, you could use parchment paper or aluminum foil. If you don't have any of those, you could just lightly grease it with some olive oil and you'll be good to go. Just put them face down on the baking mat. And I already preheated my oven to 375 degrees before I started this. You want to go ahead and get your oven heating up before you start cooking because it's going to take a while. I know it's pretty simple to go to the grocery store and buy a can of pumpkin puree, but turning your own pumpkins into puree is really quite simple as well. It doesn't take very much additional time, and I think it's a really fun process, and I think it makes making desserts a lot more special to make your own puree.
These pumpkins look excellent. They're very vibrant. And these seeds are going to be excellent. They're packed with nutrients.
It's beautiful. Now that we're done with all of those, we're just going to go ahead and put these in the oven for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. We just want them to be tender enough to where we can pierce the skin with a fork. And again, our oven had preheated to 375 degrees. Alright guys, so I figured out the best way to separate the pumpkin seeds from the pumpkin guts. And after, soaking them in the bowl of water for a little bit, I went ahead and just scooped out all of the guts right here. I'm setting them aside to give to the chickens, but now I'm left with just pretty much the pumpkin seeds in the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump them through a strainer and then rinse them one more time, and they'll be ready to put out on our baking sheet after drying them off. So I just strained them, and as you can see, there's barely any guts left in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay them out on the paper towel. And any guts that are left, you can just go ahead and pick out, but I'm going to let these dry off a little bit before I put them on the baking tray. Alright everyone, so I just went ahead and took all of our pumpkin seeds from our pumpkins and put them into a Ziploc bag we're gonna go ahead and season them, and we're gonna put them in the fridge to marinate. So like I said, I'm doing a buffalo flavored, so I have this Frank's Red hot sauce over here. As you can see, I have a huge jug. We don't mess around when it comes to buffalo sauce here in our house. So you can really just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be a specific measurement. That's one of the good things about pumpkin seeds, that you can really just kind of season them to taste. I'm gonna do a little more. And I'm gonna put in some melted butter. I did about 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna go ahead and do a pinch of salt, a pretty generous pinch. All right, we're gonna add some garlic powder now. All right, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put these in the refrigerator to marinate for about 4 hours. We just wanna let all of that flavor soak into the pumpkin seeds, and they'll be a lot more flavorful when we go to roast them. All right, everyone, I just took these out of the oven and I allowed them to cool on the counter for about 20 minutes just to make them a little bit easier to handle. As you can see, you can just easily pierce through them with a fork. So that's how you know that they're ready. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just scoop out all the insides, and we're gonna put it into our food processor. And if you don't plan on using it all at once, you can always put your excess in the freezer or even can it. All right, everybody, this is the delicious pumpkin puree that we just made. As you can see, it yielded quite a bit. This was from 4 sugar pumpkins total. We're going to be able to make a lot of desserts out of this. A few other things that we could even do is throw some of this in a smoothie or even a milkshake, or you could even make some pumpkin hot chocolate with it. And so I am really excited to use this up. As you can see, it's still a little hot. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming off of it, but I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some of it in the fridge, and I'm going to end up freezing the rest.
Do it up, both of you. Go on and show us. Go on and show us, huh?